I've heard from both people who are avid collectors and people who have accidentally run into them. When I put them out all the time, people would recognize my car, and I would have people kind of follow my car or follow my trajectory of where I was going to see if they could get a poster, which I love. Heavy Jeans is a public art project in Bremerton, Washington. On First Fridays, we print limited edition posters, and the idea is that we hide them in local businesses where First Friday is happening. So that would be Charleston, downtown Bremerton, and Manette. You can look for clues on Instagram and kind of get an idea of where to visit. If you come across one of these enjoying your First Friday and you find it, you're welcome to just take it and take it home.
Yeah, Heavy Jeens, yeah!
Art is accessible. I know that art in a museum or art in a gallery can sometimes be intimidating. And art is for everybody. It's not something that should be gatekept. Technically, because we only print them one time, they're limited edition. So if you want to play around with the idea of fine art, they are in the fine art category. But they're posters, and posters are meant to be ephemera. Bremerton is at its heart a working class community. And frankly, in my opinion, it can never not be, simply because of the shipyard and the Navy presence. I grew up here in the 90s and early 2000s, and Bremerton was a very different place. There was less to do, and my feeling is I want to leave Bremerton better than I left it. Exploring Bremerton and interacting with it is a way anyone can improve it. You know, just going into new businesses, even if you don't necessarily buy something, that helps Bremerton, it helps the downtown to be active, to be vibrant, and it gives people a reason to get out. You know, it's not just we're gonna go have dinner, but we're gonna go have dinner and maybe we'll look for one of these posters. Originally, the poster project wasn't aligned with businesses. It was just like, kind of like hide and seek. But as the project went on, it became really clear that that was a great opportunity for people to go into businesses that maybe they wouldn't normally go into. And Heavy Jeans has been really helpful in that. I definitely have gotten feedback that businesses love them, that it brings people in that wouldn't normally go in.
We love Heavy Jeans. Heavy Jeans is something that brings people into our store every First Friday. So people will come in and they'll say, do you have any jeans left? Do you have any posters left? And we'll say, well, you gotta look. When people are looking for Heavy Jeans, they're definitely looking at the website and hitting the spots where Heavy Jeans are found. They're not necessarily always gonna know that there's a bookstore downtown, but they'll see that we're a location, they'll come in and then they'll find things that they never knew that we had, all while searching for their jeans.
So Heavy Jeans is based off of a poster from World War II. And the Heavy Jeans, spelled Jeens, a relatively goofy poster of what women should wear to work. Here in Bremerton, a lot of the workers at the shipyards were women. And, you know, it has one side of the woman, she's dressed very fancy, she's wearing high heels, she has her hair done. And no, you don't do that. What you do is, you know, you cover your head, you wear work boots, and you wear heavy jeans to go to work. I like the idea of it kind of being a tip of the hat to the women who work at the shipyard, who have worked at the shipyard, and just like in general, kind of the working environment of Bremerton. That particular poster was more like a workplace advertisement poster, but at the same time, as part of Roosevelt's New Deal, he opened up the Works Progress Administration, and a section of it was to help get artists working. And they made posters. They made them for all kinds of events. The most famous are the national park posters that I'm sure almost everyone has seen. You know, Grand Canyon, Yosemite, Yellowstone. Those are some of the most famous ones. And again, they were ephemeral. There's not a ton that exists, but they're beautiful. Originally, Heavy Jeans, I wanted it to be informational, but all art in some way is political. As time has passed, it is difficult to make art in this time, especially posters, without reflecting the times that we're in. While Heavy Jeans, the idea is to be approachable for everybody, I want it to be subjects that maybe require further investigation. We've done a handful on Ukraine, on immigration, There's plenty on immigrants that have come to America and made large contributions. Things like that that are important to the conversation right now. Every January, I do a Lunar New Year poster. And then every June, I do a Bremerton theme poster. And every December, we do a Krampus theme poster. So not every single one super political and ideal, but at the same time, it's all about community too. And our communities, I think, are where we find our strength and where we're gonna power through whatever is coming next. A strong community will be essential. I like that they are bold. I use a lot of bright colors. So one I'm thinking of is a woman. She is rowing a black image over neon gradients in the background. And the neon gradients really stick out and they highlight the text and the image. It stands out when it's out on the street. They're not all like that. I have had collaborations with other artists, and I had one artist, she made one that was very pastel and very almost watercolory. It was really beautiful just in the fact that it was so different from the ones I make. And each of them have their own vibe. But when other artists are collaborating with me, I like that because it's as a whole, it tells maybe a larger narrative, if you will, of just like the different subjects and the different years and time. And I love seeing how other people view what's important to them. We're coming up on our 8th year of Heavy Jeans. I want to open it up to more artists. I want to have more voices. If Heavy Jeans is going to continue, it needs to be more of a public project. There's a lot of awesome, creative people here, and I would love to see more of them in Heavy Jeans. If you would like to collaborate, you can reach me through Instagram at Heavy Jeans or at Pierce Express. You can go to our website, pierceexpress.com, and click on Heavy Jeans. Or you can email me, hello@pierceexpress.com. What I would really like is people just to go out and explore Bremerton. So my hope is that anyone that is feeling anxious about things that are going on, like, yes, go to the rallies, go to the protests, make the signs, write the congressman, but also just go explore our city. It's an easy thing to do to support local business, and that's what I would want Heavy Jeans to leave behind.